Harry published an opinion piece in the New Statesman lecturing the British public on the rise of anti-Semitism. He filed it from Montecito, and he filed it for a left-leaning British magazine that ran his byline alongside a single sentence acknowledging his own past mistakes. The Nazi uniform sentence the brand team has been workshopping since 2005. It's time to let it go. But well, today we're covering the New Statesman op-ed Harry filed from a Californian state about the country he walked out of, the Netflix feature film Archwell just greenlit about the British Army siege in Helmand with Meghan attached as co-producer, the Boeing sponsorship walkout on the Birmingham Invictus accounts, the as-ever marmalade promo where the wife wore close to $80,000 of diamonds over a $50 t-shirt, and the assessment that the audience would boo the Duchess of Sausages, and the column about who is keeping the lights on at Montecito Manor. So welcome back, my Royal Rogues. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Royal Rogue. Let's get down to it. So Harry's byline appeared on the New Statesman. The headline framed the United Kingdom as a divided kingdom. The body called anti-Semitism deeply troubling, condemned Islamophobia in the same paragraph, and gestured at unnamed states whose actions raise serious questions under international humanitarian law. It did not name Israel directly, by the way. It did not address the counterterrorism investigation moving through Wood Green Crown Court. What it did do was acknowledge what the magazine's editor described as the author's past mistakes. Yeah, he had to make it about himself. The British press responded with a single observation. The Duke of Sausages has written down the words his communications team has been drafting for years. The byline could be Montecito, California. The man on the byline is 6,000 miles away in a 16-bedroom estate lecturing the place he chose not to live in about how to behave on the streets he chose not to walk down long ago. And by the way, the Princess of Wales was in Reggio Emilia handing tricolor flags to small children at a creative resource center. So, the author of the New Statesman piece was on an op-ed page in California explaining to the British public how they ought to feel about matters in a city he does not live in a country whose passport he uses only on his own schedule. Let me tell you what Archwell Productions just put on the Netflix slate. The project is a scripted feature film called No Way Out. The source material is Major Adam Jowett's memoir documenting the siege of Musa Qala District Center in Helmand Province when Easy Company of the British Parachute Regiment held a small compound through sustained Taliban assault. The screenplay is being written by Matt Sharman, the Oscar-nominated writer of Bridge of Spies. The producers, this is a good thing, the producers on the call sheet are Harry, Meghan, and Archwell scripted content head Tracy Ryerson. In so many words, Meghan is now a producer in a feature film about the British Army. Go figure. A feature film whose source material includes the helicopter casualty evacuations, the radio chatter, and the names of the men who did not come home. This is the same Meghan who was filming a Stella McCartney slip dress in the Montecito orchard for a raspberry preserve catalog. And the husband attached to the project is the same man who, after publishing the kill count number in his spare memoir, was publicly criticized by senior figures across the British Army for monetizing operational detail his comrades never consented to release. So the first look deal at Netflix is what survived the original overall arrangement, and the marmalade was never going to carry the slate on its own, so I guess this is what they do now. But we also have Boeing, the co-presenting sponsor of the Invictus Vancouver Games, has formally confirmed it will not return as a sponsor for Invictus Birmingham. The decision lands inside the same period as the Birmingham Organizing Committee Vice Chair resignation. The numbers on the Birmingham accounts are now public. 11 confirmed sponsors, roughly £4 million in committed corporate support. Vancouver, by the same point in its preparation, had over 44 corporate partners and a sponsorship column that ran north of 18 million pounds. So that is quite a gap. That gap between the two figures is the gap between an Invictus operation under the old leadership. Has there been an old leadership? I don't know. And the Invictus operation that it's under the leadership of a gingerbread who walked his marriage and his Netflix camera through the green room. So we also have a Tom Bowers betrayal manuscript that includes allegations that Invictus funds had previously paid for private jet legs and 5-star hotel suites for the sausage couple on games-adjacent tours. The allegations are denied by the Invictus operation. The corporate sponsorship desks of the Fortune 500, however, are not the kind of departments that wait for a verdict before walking the checkbook in the opposite direction. So yes, Boyne has walked. And the city of Birmingham is now hosting a games whose corporate underwrite is being run on a budget a quarter of the size of Vancouver's, because the headline founder cannot stop running his own brand into the same accounts. But let me tell you what the As Ever team uploaded to the Instagram grid. The frame is a white Anine Bang t-shirt and a pair of plain off-white trousers. And the styling on the surface is a simple California morning the brand has been selling since launch. But then the second reading lands. On the neck, a Logan Hollowell diamond tennis necklace, retail price $62,950. In the ears, Berg's diamond studs, retail price $6,900. On the wrist, the Cartier Love bracelet, roughly $8,000. So the headline jewelry alone is north of $77,000 on a single frame. The product the reel is selling is jam at $12 a jar. But the product is not the jam, right? The product is Meghan. In so many words, the marketing strategy is to drape the founder in close to a year's median American household income worth of diamonds in order to move a 50-cent margin condiment. So the diamonds on the marmalade neckline are not brand styling. The diamonds are the household trying to convince the audience that the household is in a position to be styling. The brand is not selling jam. The brand is selling the appearance of jam revenue. Also, a column is circulating about who is keeping the lights on at Montecito Manor. The framing is that Meghan is now the primary line on the household income statement. I don't know how Harry earned any money at any point, by the way. But the wife is the one taking the meetings. The acting comeback is the operating leverage, not the Duchess title, or that's what they claim. She claims that she is more Hollywood than royal. All right. The husband on the other side of the kitchen is reportedly telling his wife the acting return is a step backward. The wife is telling the casting agents the answer is yes, and the household is looking at a tightening cash position. A Netflix relationship that survived only as a first look downgrade. Spotify implosion in the rear view. A Penguin Random House line that has gone completely dark. So the math says the breadwinner is the one in the wardrobe, not the one in the trench coat. Although Harry wished he was in a trench coat. The man who promised an Oprah audience that he would protect his wife from the institution that nearly broke her is in the dependent position. The wife is the one taking the casting call. Will she go to a casting couch? I'm here thinking out loud. But the husband is the one filing the new Statesman op-ed nobody asked for. And a royal correspondent gave the assessment of the Montecito press team is going to be reading for some time. The summer plan is that Meghan wants to be on UK soil for a pre-Invictus Birmingham countdown event. I don't know. Sometimes they say that Meghan wants to go to the UK and sometimes that she doesn't want to. I'm a bit confused. But the substance is to use the event as the launch platform for the As Ever rollout to British consumers. But I don't know how. I'm sure that that's not going to go well. The read on what happens when the wife lands at Heathrow, whenever that happens, is direct. The audience will boo her. the audience will struggle to provide the warm reception the brand team has been pitching, if there is an audience at all, and the wife would struggle to cope. A veteran royal correspondent is on the record saying the British public would receive the Duchess of Sausages with audible hostility. Not the press, the British public on a curve outside a veterans event. And the brand team is pitching that curve as the rollout platform for a gem line. The Birmingham Games is no longer a Wounded Veterans charity program. It is a British market launch event for an American lifestyle brand. But yeah, that is insulting. So yeah, the Princess of Wales wrapped up a solo overseas visit, walking through a creative resource center and crouching down alongside nursery children. King Charles was at the Guy's Cancer Center marking an anniversary. Prince William hosted a garden party and was confirmed as the working royal power to issue royal warrants. A working family on foreign soil, in a cancer ward, and on the palace lawn in one frame. So that new Statesman op-ed filed from a Californian state about the country the byline does not live in. Netflix feature film about the British Army with Meghan on the producer line. Yeah, I don't know how that works. A Boeing sponsorship walkout, a diamond necklace over a t-shirt to move jam, and a breadwinner column reclassifying the sausage marriage. And an assessment that the British public would boo the Duchess off a curve outside a veterans event. But we didn't need that assessment, right? Let me know what you think about this in the comments. My Royal Rogue is my name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Royal Rogue. Much love and bliss.